Compactness is an obsession of mine when it comes to the Create mod, and recently I've turned that madness towards steam engines. This fella right here is the steam engine that broke my previous world record of just a few days ago of this steam engine right here. And all the way down there is the steam engine that broke this steam engine's world record. But to understand how this is even possible, we gotta understand the technology behind compacting a steam engine. And trust me, it's a lot more interesting than it sounds. Yeah, it's chickens. The technology behind these small steam engines are chickens, and that is because blaze burners, well, they're an anime reference, actually, and they like eggs, like Calcifer from Howl's Moving Castle. You can throw eggs into them, and it will give them 4 seconds of burn time. This technology, dubbed chicken core technology, that's actually what I called it, and you have to use it. You have to call it chicken core technology, is very much what allows everything to run. So, the chicken core is powered by a fan blowing beneath it with a bunch of chickens on top of some vines. Twisting vines, regular vines, it doesn't matter. The chickens need to be intersecting with vines to turn off their collision so they don't entity cram. The fan needs to be moving at least 30 RPM so that the chickens are suspended in air and their pathfinding is turned off. You can see this is not like a trick or anything. You know, they're all looking at me. They want the seeds, but they cannot pathfind me. Ooh, God, they merged into... Oh, it's one! It turned into one chicken. That's terrifying. Oh. Now, the next lucky thing that happened is, as you know, 192 RPM is the absolute slowest that a pump can run to fuel a level 9 steam engine. Turns out 192 is also the slowest a fan can run before the chickens are pushed outside of the vines. So it's the fastest that the fan can run so that the eggs actually go somewhere. You can see these eggs aren't going anywhere, and the way this whole design works requires a block to be above them, which actually depowers the fan. You can see the fan becomes less powerful, and the chickens run everywhere and need to be eliminated. Sorry, chickens. So now we have chicken core technology, we know what speed we can use, and blaze burners eat the eggs, and thus came my first world record design. This one was never shown off, but it actually was a world record when I built it. There were no smaller self-sufficient level 9 steam engines. And what I mean by that is the entire build, this entire build, produces the fuel, consumes the fuel, has the water, consumes the water, and contains all 9 steam engine arms, okay? So this entire frame did everything. And as you can see, it's inelegant and really bulky compared to the final products, and there's a lot of issues with it. Mainly, the biggest problem was it didn't work. It wasn't level 9 because of this redstone link. It would power this brass funnel, and this mechanical arm who was distributing all the eggs. The eggs, of course, were produced in this chicken core where they would sit here. The eggs would go into this vault and come down onto this depot. Those eggs weren't getting into this dispenser, which meant this blaze burner was hungry and sad, and this was a level 8. However, I was on the right track. This next design is what I actually made a video on a few days ago, believing it was an unbeatable record. I had switched to distributing the eggs through a dispenser minecart contraption that would run back and forth, right? Now, obviously, it's incredibly loud and annoying, so I'm going to turn it off, but I just wanted to show you guys that is how it worked. It would feed the eggs through these 2 portable storage interfaces. Once again, this chicken core, however, was placed within the airspace between the steam engine and the shaft. So I was utilizing my space much better, but of course I have these 2 block spaces beneath the build. Otherwise, it fit within its own frame, but I believed that you could not make it any smaller. In fact, I called it unbeatable. I was so wrong. It was Sir Francie Popinker Joseph from my Discord server that informed me that I was not thinking big enough, or small enough. I could have the contraption on these rails clipping into the steam engine. And so that is what I did next. We had a minecart contraption here that would have downwards facing dispensers and a chest that would clip right on into the steam engine. The dispensers would fire downward onto the blazes, and it would be this portable storage interface underneath a smart chute and an egg buffer. Here was the chicken core. The chickens would lay here, the eggs would get pushed up into the funnel, buffered into the chest, and then of course move back and forth. And yeah, I was satisfied with this. I thought this was done. I thought I was out of there scot-free. I was going to call this world record, unbeatable, make the video, but Sir Francie noticed kind of an issue. Rails require a supporting block, and so technically speaking, this did require blocks beneath it. But also technically, the build fit within the frame of the steam engine, right? The build didn't extend outside of it, and you can make Rails float with some crazy tech. Truthfully, for me, it was enough. But not for Sir Francie, and literally right as I sat down to record this video, he came to me with an idea. This design was inspired by his idea to use twisting vines to free up the block space here and move the rails upwards and have a contraption pointing downwards into the machine. Now, ironically, the twisting vine isn't actually needed. You could put regular vines on this redstone block, but it did serve as the inspiration to move the rails off of the ground, meaning on no technicality and through no possible argument, this is the world's smallest possible level 9 steam engine. And I'm the one who built it, with great help from Sir Francie Popenker Joseph. It may have been my hands that laid the blocks, but his ideas were so inspiring and so helpful. Seriously, join the Discord, give him a shout, he's amazing. And this thing is beautiful. This thing is elegant. It works off of the same trick, right? We have ourselves the contraption that would be pointing downwards into. I have a schematic for that in the description, and for this in the description. I just didn't want to deal with the kind of clicky ugliness of it all. One thing you'll notice that's really odd is the water. This fluid pipe points into the fluid tank, and this mechanical pump pushes out of that encased fluid pipe. So, how is this actually pulling water? Well, I don't know how many people know this, but copper casing locks a pipe into a position, right? It won't connect to other pipes, you're safe from connecting, but it's more than just connecting. It's the shape. You can see that's still open, and digging down here, that's still open, and the absolute goats who developed this mod made it so that it still works. So this is an L-bent fluid pipe locked in place. So it's both pointing downwards and sucking the water out of the stair, and pointing outwards, being pushed into the pump and then right into the fluid tank. And of course, at 192 RPM, that's the correct speed. And you know what? I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and actually put the contraption on this just to show you guys how this works, because it's beautiful. I am not going to fill the chicken core since it requires 1.4 to 1.8 thousand chickens to power this thing. This is not a survival practical build. It's just like, it's just to be compact. It's just to set a world record. So for demonstration purposes, we are going to use a creative crate on top of a chute. That's going to move the eggs into this portable storage interface. Now for any of these, all the dispensers have to be filled with a stack of eggs for this thing to work. And if possible, filling the chest up with eggs is also desirable. It's actually easier to do so once this thing is in contraption mode, because that chest can't be opened until this is in contraptions. You can hear the baby chickens are spawned in almost immediately. There we go. So I'm going to take this guy and place it on our machine. Remember, it's going to be supplied nice and easily by this creative crate. And once this starts going back and forth, you'll hear it initially. Guys, get some food. There we go. It kicks on. It's loud. It's annoying. And remember, 1.4 to 1.8 thousand chickens are needed for this chicken core. But it works. This is level 9. This is so stupid. I love it. And the actual reason this works is amazing. It just turns out this portable storage interface functions about every 4 seconds. And it takes exactly 4 seconds for a blaze burner to burn through an egg. They get 80 ticks of burn time. So the timing is nearly perfect. So perfect that you might even want to throw some eggs into these outside blaze burners, because sometimes they don't get enough with this design. Like, they just need like a tick of buffer, seriously. Like, I've seen this thing break because it spent like a frame off. So if you just throw one egg, it will build up over time. It's just a little random with how fast the portable storage interface and your frame rate are. And just to show the proof, yes, this is level 9. This is the real deal. I am so stoked that I was able to set a world record, a real one, and it's my build. But I really want to say thank you to my community. Thank you to Sir Francie Popenker Joseph and to everyone else who voiced their opinion on this. It was so supremely helpful. And yeah, I guess that's all I have to say about this absolutely cursed piece of technology. I just want to use this time to say thank you so much to the members of this channel. They are helping this channel and me become closer and closer to becoming a full-time content creator. So if that's something you'd be interested in, subscribe and become a member.